Hello, Strategy Room. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's always so good to see you guys. So, listen, have you ever been told to write down your goals and just go after them? Like Nike, just do it without instructions or anything like that? That has always been my pet peeve in the personal development space. Like, just go do it? Like, how? So, in today's video, I'm going to share my personal 5-step blueprint to achieving your goals. Are you ready? Let's go and do it. First one is envision, right? Envision, vision in, and see what it is that you want to do. Know what you want to do. Have a clear picture of what it is and write it down. Why write it down? Because you have to take it over your head and put it on paper so you can see it. So number one, it can motivate you. And number two, it'll help you to see and know what it looks like when you finally reach that goal, right? So envision and jot it down. Number two, strategize. Of course, you can't execute a plan without strategy. So you have to sit down and think about what it is that you have to do to bring that to pass. Now, that also includes timelines, mitigation. What do I mean by mitigation? Think about what can possibly go wrong and then have a counter plan for that. Then you got to think about maybe you want to have small little goals that lead up to big goals. There's so many things that you can do, but you know you better than anybody else. So just make sure that this strategy is doable and make sure it's fluid, okay? Because there are times you may have to do a little tweaking. You're not changing the strategy, but just changing the tactics. What do I mean by that? To make it clear for you. Okay, let's say one of your strategy is to maybe do something for 20 minutes a day, right? And so when you execute it, because you know everything looks good on paper until you start to do it. And so when you go to execute, you realize that, that 20 minutes is not cutting it. You need to do it for 10 based on everything else that's going on in your life. So that's just a little tweaking as you go along. Your strategy shouldn't be rigid. It should be fluid, but the end game shouldn't change, right? The next thing is act. Act mean put that plan into action, because you can have the best plan in the world, the $1 million plan. But if you don't execute it, you will not get that $1 million, right? So you have to act. And might I suggest that you act with persistency, consistency, and intensity? Because in one of my videos, I'll link it below, it talked about the formula for accelerated success, which is consistency plus persistency plus intensity equals accelerated growth. So you want to make sure you have all that intensity with you, and the intensity comes from how bad you want this thing to materialize, okay? So act, move, get the thing done. And remember, the strategy is fluid, so if you have to make a little changes along the way, that's fine. After act, achieve, right? Achievement, you actually materialize this thing. But before you lift up your hands in celebration, you need to check the vision to make sure it looks at least 90% or close to 90% of what you actually want. Because sometimes we do the vision, we write down the vision in the beginning, and then later on as we grow, because as you execute that strategy, you will be changing. And so by the time you reach to that point where you achieve this thing, you'd be so qualified to handle this thing, because you would have gone through everything you need to go through to get your mind together, to get yourself together, to really appreciate this thing that you've been after, right? So I want you to check it out to make sure that this is what you want. Now, if you see that you want to do a little bit of tweaking, then just go a little extra mile until you get exactly what it is that you want, because you know what it is that you want, right? Now, the final one, which is my favorite, celebration. After you achieve, celebrate. Celebration is so important. It is refreshing for the soul. It's refreshing for the soul because after going through so much, you want to be able to just relax. So celebration is very important. And also it's very powerful to have a trophy or a memorabilia to remind you of the journey. It is so powerful. It also even ignites a little something inside of you to say, you know, I did this, right? Now, another thing it does is what I like personally is that celebrating or rewarding yourself releases endorphins. That feel good feeling that the hormones in your brain release it, that makes you feel so good. It makes you feel accomplished. It makes you feel good. And the good thing about this endorphin is it makes you want more. And how do you get more? Plug in another goal. Plug in another goal, go after it, rinse and repeat. So let's go over it again. Envision, strategize, act, achieve, and celebrate. I remember when I achieved building my home at the end of the day. Oh my God, it was arduous. It took 18 months and we had to make some changes. Do you believe I add an additional 1,000 square foot onto the house? It's crazy, right? Yeah, I know it's crazy. And my husband was furious because it was taking longer than we anticipated. So you know what he did to get back at me? He grew a beard. He let his hair grow out. He didn't go to the barber because he knew that was a thing that, oh. But he said, until you get this house done, my hair is staying this way and my beard is staying this way. Well, thank you for my good, decent sister who's the project manager. We got it done within 18 months. And then so I found my husband again under all that hair and all that beard. But my celebration was I had a party and I invited all of my friends. It was so beautiful. It was a night under the stars. And let me tell you, I took pictures for memorabilia. It was absolutely wonderful. So it made me want to go into another project again, which I did. But anyway, I hope this helps. And remember, your word is king. So govern wisely. Until I see you again. See you later. Bye-bye.